Is the APC Smart UPS 1500 VA the kind of backup power you really need for a home office, a small server rack, or just a high-end gaming setup? Who should actually consider dropping a few $100s on it? Who can safely skip it? And does the price make sense for the average buyer who just wants a little extra peace of mind when the lights flicker? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Those are the 3 questions I keep hearing from people who are on the fence. And today I'm going to walk through the real-world scenarios that decide whether this UPS belongs in your gear bag or stays on the shelf. First off, let's talk about why a UPS matters at all. The power grid isn't perfect. Brownouts, brief outages, and nasty voltage spikes hit more often than we'd like to admit. For a desktop that runs a Photoshop workflow, a NAS that houses family photos, or a server that hosts a small business website, even a few seconds of interruption can mean lost work, corrupted files, or an angry client. The APC Smart UPS 1500 VA promises to keep those devices alive long enough to either ride out a blip or shut down cleanly. That promise sounds nice on paper, but the rubber meets the road when you actually plug it into your setup. If you're a freelance designer who runs a dual-monitor workstation, you'll notice the value the moment the UPS kicks in during a power dip. The unit supplies a pure sine wave output, which is the same shape you get from the utility grid. That matters because many modern power supplies, especially those with active PFC, power factor correction, expect that clean waveform. In practice, I've seen cheap sine wave simulators cause the fans on high-end graphics cards to spin up erratically or the monitor to flicker. The pure sine wave from this APC model eliminates those quirks, so your monitors stay bright, your audio interface stays stable, and you get that seamless transition you need to hit save before the lights go out. Now, who should actually buy this thing? The sweet spot is anyone who runs equipment that can't afford an abrupt shutdown. Small business owners with a few on-premise servers, IT professionals maintaining a rack of networking gear, and content creators who rely on high-end workstations all fall into that category. The 1500 VA rating translates to about 900 watts of usable power, which comfortably covers a mid-range desktop, a couple of monitors, a router, and even a small external hard drive array. If you're running a full-blown server farm, you'll need something bigger, but for a single rack unit or a tower setup, this UPS gives you enough headroom to keep everything online for roughly 5 to 10 minutes, enough time to either wait for the grid to recover or execute a graceful shutdown script. On the flip side, if you're a casual gamer who mainly needs a quick surge protector for your console, this is overkill. A basic strip with built-in surge suppression will protect against spikes, but you won't get any battery backup. The cost of the APC unit, plus the occasional battery replacement down the line, doesn't make financial sense for a use case where a sudden power loss only means you'll have to restart a game. Likewise, renters who can't mount a rack and have no space for a tower-style UPS will find the installation requirements a hassle. The unit can sit on a desk, but the extra height and the need for proper ventilation might clutter a small workspace. Let's dig into the practical strengths. First, the network-grade power conditioning does more than just clamp spikes. It smooths out the waveform, reducing the wear on sensitive components. Users who have complained about flickering lights or random reboots after installing a high-quality UPS often cite that conditioning as a silent hero. Second, the 6 battery-backed and surge-protected outlets give you flexibility. You can hook up your primary PC, a monitor, a router, a NAS, and still have 2 spare sockets for future expansion. No need to run separate power strips. Third, the rack-mountable design means you can slide this unit into a standard 19-inch rack if you already have one, keeping the cabling tidy and the footprint small. For a home lab that mimics a data center, that's a genuine convenience. The weaknesses are subtler but worth mentioning. The battery itself is sealed lead acid, which means it will lose capacity over time, especially if you live in a hot climate. APC recommends replacing the battery every 3 to 5 years, and that's an extra cost that isn't included in the initial price. Also, the unit doesn't have a built-in LCD that displays real-time load percentages. You have to rely on the software interface through a USB or network connection to see how many watts you're pulling. If you're the type who likes a quick glance at a screen to know you're still under the limit, that extra step might feel clunky. Finally, the model isn't sold in Vermont due to state regulations, which is a tiny footnote but could be a deal breaker for anyone in that region. Installation is straightforward for